Hello, Assalamualaikum. My name is Binti Zulkifli. Metric numbers 2023695688. And today I'll be presenting a critical analysis of the Forbes articles titled Resolving Conflicts in the Workplace and Why Common Sense Isn't Enough. So I'll be discussing the introduction to the topic, the article's main ideas, my critical evaluation supported by academic research, recommendations, and the overall conclusion. Let's start with introductions. So workplace conflict is something that every organization experience, whether large or small. So as organizations grow and employees interact more closely, misunderstandings, disagreements, and tensions naturally occurs. So many people assume that conflicts can be solved using common sense or by simply talking things out. However, modern research and real organizational experience shows that conflict is far more complex. So this is why managers today must be equipped with proper conflict resolution skills and supported by strong organizational systems. So this presentation aims to analyze the Forbes articles and evaluates its idea using academic literature and real-world examples, including Malaysia's workplace context. So the summary of the articles. The Forbes article features insight from Richard Burke from JAMS, an expert in conflict management. So the main point of the article is that common sense is not enough to manage conflict effectively. So Burke explains that conflict often arises from misunderstandings, emotional reactions, unmet expectation, and communication problems. So because of this complexity, managers cannot rely on instinct alone. Instead, managers need structured skills such as active listening, reframing, emotional regulation, and interest-based negotiations. So the article also highlights the importance of mediation. So this is bringing in a neutral third party when conflict escalates or becomes too emotional. So finally, Burke notes that conflicts often reveals deeper organizational problems. For example, employees may be confused about their roles, feel they are treated unfairly, or struggle with poor workload distributions, and these underlying issues must be addressed to prevent conflict from repeating. Next, critical analysis. So the first one is agreement. I agree with the article that conflict management skills must be learned and not assumed. So research by Agrawal and colleagues in 2024 confirms that structured conflict management training improves communications, collaboration, and the quality of conflict outcomes. So many large organizations like Google and Deloitte require leaders to undergo conflict training because they recognize that untrained managers can unintentionally make situations worse. I also agree with the article's emphasis on mediations. So mediations allow a neutral person to guide the conversation, making the process fair and less threatening. So studies by Manduat et al. In 2022 shows that mediations leads to more durable and satisfying agreement. So this is especially in Malaysia is very important, where employees may be afraid to confront their supervisors directly. Next is expansions. However, the article does not sufficiently address how organizational systems create conflict. Research by Chiao et al. In 2023 shows that psychological contract breaches, such as when employees feel misled, undervalued, or unfairly treated, can lead to conflict, even if communication is clear. A Malaysian study by Arni Yanti in 2022 also found that role ambiguity and poor supervisor support contribute significantly to workplace stress and conflicts. So this means that conflict is not just interpersonal, it is structurally embedded in how work is designed and managed. Another point missing from the article is psychological safety. Ito et al. In 2021 highlight that employees must feel safe to express opinion without fear of punishment. So in Malaysia, research by Rajan Diran and colleagues in 2022 shows that many workplaces still struggle with psychosocial safety, making employees hesitant to speak up. So without psychological safety, even a trained manager may fail to resolve conflict because employees remain silent. Let's hop on to the recommendations and suggestions. So based on both the main article and the other articles, there are several recommendations can strengthen conflicts management. Firstly, the organizations should provide structured conflict management training which focusing on emotional intelligence, negotiations, difficult conversation, and active learning. Second, there should be a clear and transparent conflict resolution pathway starting from informal discussion followed by HR involvement and finally mediation when needed. Third, the psychological safety must be strengthened. Managers should encourage open communications, respect different opinions, and create a safe environment for employees to express concerns. Fourth, organizations should fix systemic issues such as unclear roles, unfair workloads, and inconsistent leadership behaviors. Addressing these root causes can prevent conflict before it begins. So finally, a conflict management strategy should be localized for the Malaysian context, recognizing cultural norms and communications preference. In conclusion, the Forbes article presents a valuable insights on why common sense is not enough for managing conflicts. So the articles emphasize on skills, structured communication, and mediation is well supported by academic research. However, resolving conflicts require more than individual skills. It requires supportive organizational system, psychological safety, and culturally sensitive practices, especially in Malaysia. So by combining training, mediation, system improvements, and cultural adaptation, organizations can create healthier workplace where conflicts become a tool for improvement rather than a source of stress. So that's all from me. Thank you very much.